What can you do today? While that might seem like a question that you would ask someone when you're trying to negotiate a price with them, this question is more so talking about what you can do today to start moving in the right direction with your life. And while the right direction might be subjective, the goal of this video is to help you figure out what you can do today. When I first started YouTube, I thought I had to have the best gear. I had to have the best camera and the best lighting, but I didn't need any of that. All I needed really and truly was this little thing in my pocket and some content. All I had to do was take out my phone and start recording. That was what I could have done that day to start my journey, and I probably would have been okay. So I guess that's my question to you. You know, sometimes we get so caught up in having the best things. We need to get this camera and then we'll start. We need to get this light and then we'll start. We need to get a website and then we'll start. But sometimes you just have to start and the rest of the things will figure itself out. Let's say you had the idea of cleaning your whole house. You want to clean your kitchen, you want to clean your room, you want to clean the living room, the washroom, everywhere. That in itself is a very big task. But like most things in your life, the things that you want to accomplish are probably big tasks. You want to buy a house or have a good career or, whatever the case is, you probably can't do all of it in one day. That's why it's important to not focus on the big task, but to break it down into smaller things that you can do and just focus on getting those things done. Me personally, I look at big goals like the fact that I'm going to be shooting movies in the future, and I get a little overwhelmed. I get into this mode of like, yeah, I'm going to shoot this movie, and then, I want to do this and I want to do that, but then I kind of come back down to earth and, I actually sit down and I say, whoa, like, what was I thinking? Let me relax. I actually start looking into doing it, and it's like, looking up a mountain and seeing how far I'm going to have to climb. A big talking point for young people right now is buying a house. But in this economy, that's a very big task and it's not cheap. But I think a good way to go about the task is to say, okay, I want to save 10 grand. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. Just say you want to save $1,000. That's it. Say you want to save $1,000, and then when you've saved that, you're like, oh yeah, I saved $1,000. You're $1,000 richer. Right? It'll make you feel good about saving that $1,000, and then you're one step closer to your goal. It's kind of like tricking your mind in a sense. The average house here in Toronto is a whopping $1 million, and I'm actually pretty sure it's more than that now. And I'm pretty sure if you're buying a house over $1 million, you're required to put down at least 20% of the purchase price. So that means that your down payment has to be $200,000. But just stick with me here because I'm going to try and make it easier for you as much as I can. So instead of saying that I'm going to save $200,000, which is a huge feat, you just say you're going to save $1,000. You also do have the option of saying that you're going to save $1,000 200 times, but that's like telling your mind that you're going to save $200,000, so you're essentially back at square one. And you're also making the task seem like a big task because you have to save $1,000 200 whole times. I had to write all of these save 1,000s, and you can see right here it was like, it was pretty good. Normally I connect my letters regardless, but there's a good amount of space there. And then as you get down to the bottom, there's like no space. Like look at right here. There's like no space right there versus the top one. Just take it one step at a time and save $1,000. Then you check your progress either at the beginning or the end of the year, and you see how far you've made it. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to save $200,000 in 1 year, but let's just say you save 20. Assuming you save at least 20 grand a year, that's just 10 years that you have to save for a down payment. And to be honest, that sounds fucking terrible. But, I hope you get my point. It also doesn't take into account that the house will probably be more expensive by the time you get there. But hey, like I said, you get my point. I remember this quote from Martin Luther King, and he said, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, just keep moving forward. To go back to my cleaning analogy from before, if you can't clean a whole room that day, just clean one closet. And if you can't clean one closet, just do a mirror or a counter or a drawer or something, just anything. Get something done so then you can at least say that you started your goal and now you're working towards it and you're gonna complete it. Doing the smallest and easiest thing is better than doing nothing at all or leaving it all until tomorrow, which we know is a very slippery slope. There's also this other analogy, I guess you could call it. So there's a person walking in a forest, and I'm pretty sure it was like foggy or something like that, and I believe they're with a horse. Stick with me because I know it seems weird, but just please, just give it a chance. But I remember the person saying something like, I can't see where I'm going because it's foggy, or, their vision was blocked or whatever it was. And the horse said, can you see your next step? And the person says, yes. And the horse says, then just take that. It's just one foot in front of the other. And yes, they seem like small tasks, but they add up. And then you look back in a year or 2 or 3, and then you see how far you've actually made it. When I released a wallpaper pack back in 2021, I wanted to do it right. I needed everything to be perfect. All the watermarks had to be the same size and in the right place down to the last pixel. And I had to have it on my website, and it had to load with the right animation. And I definitely went over the top in terms of perfection for it, I guess you could say. But the reality is that I didn't need any of those things. If I actually sit down and think about it right now, I could have just uploaded it onto Google Drive, changed the permission to view only, posted the link and said, hey everyone, I released a wallpaper pack, you can download it here, and it would have been perfectly fine. I didn't need the whole Squarespace website and paying them for the domain and all these sorts of things, because the outcome probably would have been the same. People would have liked it, downloaded it, and use it on their devices. Sure, I can say I did it the more professional way, I guess, and that's right, but I could have gone the simpler route and done it quicker, so then next time I know how long it'll actually take to get up and running and stuff. I remember running into constant roadblocks with the file sizes, and the folder had to be zipped, and a whole bunch of back-end stuff that could have been solved by just uploading it to Google Drive, and that would have been it. But the good thing is that now I know. So the next time I actually do upload a wallpaper pack, the folder size limit is 300 megabytes, unless they increased it by now. And all the backend stuff is basically solved. Speaking of that, I didn't upload a wallpaper pack all of last year actually. So maybe I'll do one this year. And if you are interested in my previous ones, I will link them both down below if you want to download them for whatever reason. But be warned, they are almost 2 years old at this point, and I've gotten astronomically better at taking photos in those 2 years. So I guess I say all that to say this. You don't need fancy equipment or all the time in the world or anything that you don't have right now for the most part. You can take steps today to accomplish whatever you want to. All that's holding you back is yourself. To end off the video, I think before you go to bed tonight, you should ask yourself, if you want to accomplish a goal, what can I do today? Well, maybe you should ask yourself right before you go to bed, because you're going to bed, so then maybe you say tomorrow, but then I guess you're getting into the dreaded I'll do it tomorrow territory. But you get the point. See if you can take a step forward today so that you can have momentum tomorrow. And as always, thanks for watching.